You are now watching Mr. Kevin's TV. Stay tuned.
Hey, my name is Kristian Jones. I'm a recent graduate of Virginia State University and a product of the Virginia State University Visual Communication Art and Design program. And I'm a visual artist. I love doing portraits. That's my forte. And I've really been doing art all my life, creating all my life, whether it's performing, music, singing, and visual arts. I first started, well, my parents told me that I first started doing art around the age of 3. And they told me this one story that really stuck with me for the rest of my life. And that's, I have a twin brother. And they always bought us the same coloring books, but they bought us 2 so that we didn't fight over who's. And I used to always yell at him for coloring outside the lines. My parents used to reassure me that it was okay. He can do what he wants in his own coloring book. And that really stuck with me because at an early age, I had a keen eye for detail. And that really stuck with me because detail is what I love. I love finding details. And I pay attention to all aspects of detail, whether it's visually, conceptually, historically, and all those things that really made me who I am, not just as an artist, but as a person, and being a part of this human race. And I believe that if more people start focusing on the details, we'll be in a better place. All right, so this is definitely my second favorite piece, and it's a portrait that I did from a picture of Charlie Chaplin, which was an early performer back in the, or a silent performer back in the teens and early 20th century, well, 20s, sorry. And I love this piece just because I love performing, as I said earlier, but I like a lot of silent performances, a lot of classic movies early, well, they were silent, so everything wasn't, auditory. Like, you actually had to see what people were doing, and that's an art that a lot of people can't master, and I think has gone away. But this is my only painting that I've done in grayscale, and this is my dad's favorite piece, and I'll probably end up giving this to him after a while, but I kind of want to hold on to it for now. A lot of people think it's a picture when they come over, and I'm like, nah, like that's a painting I did, and it took about 9 hours. I actually wrote how long it took and when I actually finished it on the back, and I did this a couple of years ago. Back in 2012. My favorite piece today is probably going to be the Adolf Hitler piece that I did as a part of my senior thesis project entitled Sanguine Dream. And the purpose of that project was to take our own interpretation of red and have that come through and show through our artwork. So I took a step back and focused on the first words that I associated with red, and I opened up a sketchbook and I just started writing words down. And the first 2 words that I wrote down were anger and violence, and then the third one was blood, actually associated with red. So when I started thinking of people who were associated with a lot of bloodshed and angry were dictators. So I took dictators from various places on our globe and incorporated them as my senior thesis. But I didn't want to glorify these people because what they did was awful, and it shouldn't be seen as a glorified thing. And I didn't want to do portraits of these people seen as we see them now. So what I decided to do was to flip the script. What if history was changed? And I thought, if I was speaking to these people, how would they feel if it happened to them? So what I did was, I took these people and I dressed them in the traditional garbs or the clothing of the associated group that they targeted. And in Hitler's case, it was all the various people that he had in the internment camps in Germany. And this weren't just Jews, but because that's who's associated with World War II and the mass extermination of the Jews, I thought that would be the most appropriate because people could identify that with the situation. A lot of people know who these people are, but not necessarily who they targeted, for what reasons. And I wanted to show that through each piece without really saying too much. Another crucially important part of my life is definitely religion. And I haven't done any religious pieces. And looking through art history, art started with religion. And to pay my respects to the artists who came before me, my next piece is going to be religiously based, and it's going to be a portrait of Jesus Christ, taken from a screenshot of Mel Gibson's The Passion of the Christ.